Man, what a pain it was to get the old liners out of my Jeep JK 4-doors old hinges.
This fits right up in here.
I bought some of these Delrin Hinge Liner replacements to try to combat the stiffness in our 4-door JK's doors. I'd seen other people install these things and they look so simple, and I'm here to tell you, it wasn't. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the problem we're solving. When Jeep designed the Jeep JK, they, inside of the steel hinges, put aluminum liners. And then, of course, the hinge, it's both the outer part of the hinge and the pin that's on the door are made of steel. When dissimilar metals like aluminum and steel are in contact for long enough, they start to corrode. It's called galvanic corrosion. And you can look it up on Wikipedia if you really want to learn more about it. But it gets this like white, crusty look to it. That's how you can tell that it's happening. If you look at the rear hinges on our 4-door, you can see there's like this white film over top of the lower hinge. What this kit does is it takes the aluminum out of the mix and replaces it with this hard plastic called Delrin. In theory, it's simple enough. You get the old liners out, put the new liners in. Getting the old ones out is the hard part. So I picked up these door liners on Amazon, a little bit cheaper than you find at some of the other big name brands. These are made by Kentrol, which is a name I recognize, so I figured, should be good to go. Came with the tool that you need to knock out the old liners. Like I said, I'd seen other people do this. It seemed like a good afternoon job. I ended up spending like 4 or 5 hours trying to get these dang things out, and I had to basically throw the directions away and come up with my own solution for getting these liners out. So first, let's talk about some tools. You're going to need some hammers. I started with a simple ball peen hammer, but I also had, I think it's like a 3-pound miniature sledge here, and a Torx T50. If you still have the little weird bolt things that hold your hinges together in place on your JK, then you're going to need a T50 to take them off. So getting the doors off is actually pretty simple. You take these little bolts off the bottom of the hinge using that Torx T50.
There's cables inside of here that control your electric windows and locks and whatnot. And you have to unplug them from way up in here, which I really can't show you on camera. Then once they're unplugged, this hook here, you just got to pull it off of the hook, the strap off of the hook. Okay, now be careful when you open the door up after you take this hinge off, because your mirror could hit the door or hit the hood. That's the plug we're talking about. Has a little clip on it, and you pull straight down. And then unhook that. Now the door should come off.
Obviously, if you're replacing the liners, you probably already have some door stiffness going on, so it could be difficult, but I always find that if you get like your knee or your thigh underneath the door and apply upward pressure while you rock the door back and forth, it'll eventually work its way free.
There you go.
Once it's off, you want to put it down somewhere where you're not going to damage the paint, and then we can get to work.
This fits right up in here, and then...
Now, like I said in the intro, I couldn't get these things to budge by putting the removal tool at the bottom of the hinge and hammering upward. Not to mention the fact that these side steps, most Jeeps have side steps, and if you've got side steps, they're going to be in the way. You're either going to have to take them off or work around them.
Yikes. So I got the driver's side done. It was not nearly as easy as the instructions would have you believe. I'm going to show you a trick or two. First of all, I found that the act of beating on the hinge to get the liner out made the door hinge move. So I'm going to use this paint pen to mark on the body and the hinge where the hinge is right now on both the top and bottom. Do that by just kind of making a line that extends from the hinge to the body in a couple spots. I'm just using a craft paint pen, same one I use for drawing lines on steel. And you could, if you want to, mark the bolts, though that is what I tried on the rear door on the driver's side, and that did not work out so well, because as soon as you need to adjust them, all the paint comes off the bolt head and your marks are gone. Now the next thing is pounding these from the bottom. Didn't get them out, So what I ended up doing was these liners are just like these liners except made of aluminum. See, it's got that upper lip to it. This has an aluminum lip around the top, and then it slides down in there. So the idea would be you pound through from the bottom, the whole liner comes out. Well, that did not happen on the other side. First of all, down here there's a step in the way. Almost impossible to get around unless I take this step off, which I did try to do on the other side, and that just ended up in a bunch of broken bolts. So what I found was these are, of course, aluminum liners, so that means they have a seam because they were like crimped around. Find the seam, which is right here, and then get in there like this and get the lip off. See how that's peeling right off of there? And you got to get around the whole thing, which is not very easy, especially while I'm trying to film. Because sometimes it'll just bend inward, but that's okay. See, and then you kind of beat up on this a bit until it's, you know, if you're lucky, you can get it to come out of here by doing this. I wasn't so lucky, but at the very least, you kind of get part of it torn out of here. But you don't want to leave it flush with the top, which is what I'm trying to avoid here. There we go. Basically what I'm doing here, focus on that, is slowly but surely chipping this thing away down inside of the hinge. And then I'm going to get all those little ragged edges off, and then I'll take the tool that they gave me and hammer it down from the top instead of up from the bottom, and then it'll push the hinge out the bottom. So now you can see all the stuff that's come out of the bottom here. This is all pieces of the liner that I broke free and peeled out. There seems to be a plastic liner in here too, which must be what they did to try to avoid this corrosion problem. But there we go. Now, I found that like some PB blaster in here. I'm just trying not to get it onto the steps. That's why I'm catching it in my hand. And then I have this handy dandy rag here that I have been taping in place, which looks like it needs new tape. And then tap this guy in here. Out come the liner. What's left of it. There you go.
All right, and after you get the old liners out, really it's pretty straightforward. You just put the new Delrin liner in place. I had to tap it lightly with my ball peen hammer to get it driven in there. So in all, a pretty straightforward project, just a little bit of a pain in the butt. Here's a quick shot of the two additional, well, the drift and the chisel that I decided to use in order to get those liners out, just in case you need to find some for yourself. Really, any sharp chisel, I think, will do the job on the top. This one did a really good job, this spade-shaped thing. And then the drift was just to kind of clean out the hinge after I got all the crud jammed up in there from all the damage I did to the old aluminum liner. All right, folks, I hope you found this informative. If you want a link to This particular product, I have it in the description of the video. Remember, it's an Amazon affiliate link, so when you buy from there, it helps out the channel. Remember to check out SWBCrawler.com for all of our other content, and if you want to buy some merch, we got some on there. And remember, folks, get out there and wheel. I'll catch you in the next one.